Hey folks, it's Frithgar here. We'll get stuck straight into the build, but before I do, I just want to mention that this isn't my original build, and I've put a video in the description at the bottom linking the original video that shows this build. I'm going to show you how to do that, and then I'll show you my modifications. So first of all, you need a chest, just like that, and into the back of the chest you want a hopper. So shift click a hopper into the back, and then obviously double check to make sure that the spout is running into the hopper. Next we fill in everything else on this bottom level with your chosen building block, like so. Next we put a building block, and we put a block of glass, another block. We put a half slab on top of the hopper like that, and just behind the half slab, facing into this half slab, we put a, just come down a bit, there we go, put a dispenser. It needs to be facing into the slab, so just double check that it is facing the correct way. Fill in down the sides here, and next we do the redstone. It's very simple. We have a comparator facing out of the dispenser and set that to subtract. We have a repeater pointing away from the comparator, and then we have another repeater on the side facing into the block like that. Fill in the rest of the area down here with redstone. There we go. That is all the redstone that you need. On the next layer you want a hopper pointing down into the dispenser like that. Then you want a hopper pointing into that one, and another one behind that there. Check to make sure that they are chained in together, because anything that drops, these are what pick up the eggs, and they need to be pointing all down into that dispenser. We have a block of glass on top of here. Then fill in the sides with your building blocks all the way around. Fill it out like this. There we go. And there, in this space here is where we want to put a bucket of lava, and I will just pick up the carpet as well that we're going to use. We'll have lime green. Give the chickens something lovely and colourful to look at. There we go, so we put the bucket of lava in there. Now this layer we put a block of glass on top, a block of glass on top of the lava to make it safe. We put carpet over the top of the hoppers like that. Fill in the rest with building blocks. Like that. And then the top, you just cover it over. And that is your fully automatic chicken farm. Done. Finished. Now what will happen is the cedar chickens will be in there. They will lay eggs, they will go into the hoppers, they will chain down into that dispenser, and that will activate the little redstone circuit here, which will then cause the egg to be fired into that half slab, which will break it, and if a chicken is spawned, it will spawn on top of the half slab. Now the size of the baby chicken is just small enough that it will sit on top of that half slab without being harmed, but when it becomes an adult chicken it will obviously expand in size. The lava will cook it, and its drops will be taken up by the hopper and will appear in this chest underneath. Now here's one that I built earlier. I've stuffed it full of cedar chickens up the top, and we have a lot of them on the half slab, and if you look in here you'll see that we're getting cooked chickens and feathers. Now for a slight variation on this, if you don't want to get cooked chickens, if you want raw chicken, because there are villagers that trade raw chickens for emeralds, just put a blade of water in here instead of a blade of lava, and that way you'll get raw chicken. Now when you're using this one, when the adult chickens get cooked and drop their drops, they don't all fall down underneath, they don't all go into the chest. some of them will get burned up by the lava. It's not that efficient. Obviously with the water, all the drops end up in the chest, and you get a lot more. Now, I could very well have more cedar chickens in there than I do in that one. But that's really for each individual person to decide. Now, over here, I've given me the choice, and what I've done is on the side where the lava blade is, I have a button. There's a dispenser in here. I'll break the glass and we can have a look. There's a dispenser on that side and a dispenser on that side, and in here I have one lava bucket. In here I have one water bucket. So if I put the window back, like so, if I wish to cook the chicken, I press that button and the lava comes out. If I don't want to cook the chicken, I press that one to remove the lava, and I press that one to put the water in. Obviously don't press the cook button if the raw chicken button has already been pressed, or you'll end up with a block of stone in there, or if it's vice versa, you could end up with a block of obsidian. There's nothing in this one. So that is a slight variation you can have. Personally, I don't particularly like having the factory farm feel of this setup, and so I've gone for something over here. Now ignore all the rest of that for a moment. All I've done here is expand the size of the collection area. I've got the original 3 there with the carpets still. I've put half slabs down instead of carpets because I felt that that was a bit more realistic, and I've given the chickens a larger pen that they can run around in, be free and merry, and do whatever it is the chickens do. Underneath, all I've done, I've got the same redstone circuit, nothing has changed there. All I've done with the pen is under all of the pen I've put hoppers, and I've chained them together, made sure they're all pointing one into the other, and they ultimately all end up into that dispenser. And that works exactly as it should do. So everything comes out the bottom there. Now I then decided that I didn't necessarily want it to cook, and I put the dispensers in each side so that I could choose whether I wanted lava or water. So I have also moved the buttons. I didn't want the buttons there, so I moved the buttons with a redstone line over here. So at the moment I've got the water on, so if I turn the water off, let me go back and have a look, the water's gone. And then I can turn on the cooked chicken, and I've got a lava blade out, and that will cook anything that comes out, and they'll drop down into the chest. I'll put it back to my raw chicken for now. There we go. All I've done for that is I've just put a line of redstone with a repeater to strengthen the signal again, and it runs up to the back of the dispenser. I've done the same on both sides. If we drop down in here, I can show you. It runs down through there. It's a very simple circuit. There's nothing complex about it. Then I decided that I'm getting all of these drops that were turning up in this chest. No, I wasn't. My mistake. I was getting the drops turn up in this chest, but I didn't want them there. I wanted them over in this chest, next to the buttons for the raw chicken and the cooked chicken. So all I've done is made a simple item elevator that takes them out of the bottom of that chest. It runs them along here and puts them into that chest. You can see some of the work for that one in behind here. There's a dropper there. It's pointed up into another dropper, and there's a small chain of hoppers that runs along and ends up dumping the products into that chest. But that was putting all of the items in that chest. I was getting the raw chicken, the feathers, and the cooked chicken occasionally as well. Again, I decided that that wasn't quite good enough, and so I extended the line. I put a run across here. I've got an activated dropper here that fires the products into a water stream, just here. They run along there and they drop down into those hoppers there. From those hoppers, they drop down and into a dispenser that's down there. I don't want that one there. Put that one there for now. And they go over into a small item elevator here, which comes up to here and places everything into an item sorter. So they're all then sorted out neatly and tidily into their appropriate drops. Feathers, raw chicken, cooked chicken, and I've added coal in there just because. Now, if you want to cook the chicken, obviously you need something to cook it in. Now you can have a furnace, you can put coal in the bottom, you can put chicken in the top, and you can take the items out of there. Or you can automate it slightly. If you put a hopper onto the side of the furnace, all the coal in there will feed into there, and when that one loses some, we'll take an item. There you go. Takes it out of there, and from there this chest will fill it up. So you have as many as you can put into there. And just for anyone that's chasing after the numbers, you can put 3,456 pieces of coal into the chest alone, which is enough to keep you going for a little while. Then any items that you want to go into the top and be cooked, you place into this chest. So if we put, say, 32 pieces of chicken in there, you'll see them flashing through here, and they're accumulating down there. They'll start cooking, and as we have a hopper underneath the furnace, they'll drop out of that and go into this chest. So that seemed to me to be acceptable, but still I would have to manually load the coal into that one and manually load the cooked items into that one. So I've taken it a step further. The item sorter over here, I've extended it slightly so that I have chests down here. Coal, cooked chicken, raw chicken, there's nothing in there yet, and feathers. Now underneath the cooked chicken and the coal I have two chains of hoppers. If I keep those out, the raw chicken will accumulate in there. Around the back, those hoppers are chained to these item elevators and all run back into the furnace. So I've fully automated everything. I know that there are easier ways to make item elevators. You can do them with just alternating points of redstone torches, a little bit of dust and so on, but they can be unreliable, they can burn out a bit. I find that these are the most reliable way of making an item elevator. Especially when you're using a lot of them, and you do occasionally have trouble with lag causing some of the other versions to accumulate items where they shouldn't. Now I can't think of any way to completely automate this with a switch to turn on and off items coming out of the bottom of these. However, simply adding in a hopper underneath there will start emptying the coal, and the coal will then go up to this chest and accumulate in this one. There, we see our number ticking up. If I want to use coal for something else, I can take it from there. When I feel I've got enough in that chain and I don't need to go any further, I can just remove the hopper underneath that one. The same applies to the raw chicken here. At the moment, raw chicken accumulates in this chest. Now, if I add a hopper underneath here and point it down into the hopper that's at the bottom there, like that, those two items will move out. They're sending the chicken up through there. The chicken ends up in this chest, down through there, and in the furnace here. And then when the item is cooked, it will drop out the bottom and come back over here. So long as I keep that there hopper As long as I keep him in line, I won't have any raw chicken from this system. All I will get is cooked chicken in that chest and feathers over in that chest. And that's my own personal one. This is the sort of system that I would probably end up building on my survival world, purely because I like to automate as much as I can, and I do quite like having everything sorted out into just one big storage system. If I can pull everything from a distance back into a central sorting location, I'm very pleased with it. I know there's easier ways to do this. When you're playing on survival, having this many hoppers chained together like this is quite expensive for the resources. But there are ways around that. That's it for the day, folks. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy it, then please hit the subscribe button. I will try to do some more in the future. Thanks again, and we'll see you later.